So welcome everybody. This is the All Hands on Deck quarterly call. We do appreciate you taking the time out today to join this. We do have a great topic and some great speakers. As you know, or at least I hope you know, that this is DEC Awareness Day 2022, and that is going to be our topic today. The idea is that we want to make sure that you all know what DEC Awareness Day is, and then from years after, hopefully everybody will do more than what we did the year before. So welcome. If you can take just a second to put in the chat your name, agency, and state so we can keep track of everybody and be able to reach out to folks, that would be awesome. My name is Stacy Reed. I'm the Director of DEC Network Development. Carrie Jensen from National DEC will also be speaking today as well. So Carrie, do you want to give your title? Because for some reason it is escaping my mind because it's long.
It is long, yes. I'm the Alliance Communication Training and Support Coordinator.
Perfect, perfect. If you have questions throughout today's webinar, if you can please type it in the chat box, we will try to get to all of those. If for some reason we can't get to it, we will make sure to reach out to you personally. So we are going to start with a video. We thought that would get everybody on board. This is one of our newer videos. It speaks for itself. I don't even need to introduce it. The National Alliance for Drug Endangered Children is working to help people across America make a difference in the lives of children who are affected by substance misuse.
We provide training, technical assistance, and resources to local alliances, community organizations, and individuals, helping everyone concerned provide the best possible options for the children who need us.
1 in 8 children in the United States live in a household with a parent who has a substance use disorder.
Over 9 million kids are affected by household substance misuse.
Children living in homes with alcohol and drug use experience adverse prenatal and postnatal effects.
These kids have adverse childhood experiences with related physical and emotional health challenges.
In some of the worst cases, innocent children are exposed to human trafficking,
abuse,
persistent violence, and chronic neglect.
Without proper intervention, these children run the risk of substance misuse themselves, perpetuating the cycle for the next generation.
The goal of National DEC is 100% healthy and safe children with strong families and communities, free from the negative impacts of drug activity and substance misuse.
We help develop and equip state, tribal, and local alliances and support individuals and professionals.
We provide training on how to identify children as early as possible, work collaboratively to intervene, and connect those in need with comprehensive follow-up services.
And National DEC recently launched a nationwide mobile app called Check DEC
to connect victims, survivors, community members, and professionals to resources and services within their own communities.
The National Alliance for Drug Endangered Children is challenging all of us to recognize kids at risk and work together,
leveraging our collective resources to protect our children from abuse and neglect.
Learn more about National DEC in our state, tribal, and local alliances
at nationaldec.org.
So as you know, that was a collaborative effort, and we are putting that out on National Drug Endangered Children Awareness Day too. It's part of that awareness piece, bringing everybody together from all across the nation to produce these. So that was super fun. We also will post it on our website and our social media outlets, so you can share that as well. We kind of wanted to just briefly run through kind of where we started and where we are, and then how that ties into DEC Awareness Day. I know that a lot of you already know this because you've been in DEC efforts for a long time, but I know that there's some new folks on the line as well. So where we started over 20 years ago looks very different than where we are today for a variety of different reasons. Where we used to be was when meth labs were really popular in the late 1900s and early 2000s, when meth labs were at their finest, unfortunately. When that mission started, it was really law enforcement driven mission. Law enforcement were responding to children living in dangerous drug environments, for example, meth labs. And it expanded to prosecuting the caregivers, and then oftentimes ended up in a removal from the home. So as you know, meth labs, we don't have a lot of them. We have smaller ones that are kind of across the nation, but definitely not in the numbers that we used to have them due to legislation that was passed years ago. So where we are today looks very different. Eric, can you go back once? There we go. So where we are now, it's not a law enforcement driven mission. It can be really driven by any discipline. It's a community-based mission. We know that it's going to take all of the community members and professionals to change the trajectory of children's lives. And it's a proactive approach now. It's not waiting for a crisis to happen and then responding. Now, we still see those, and they are in DEC efforts, but the majority of our work is really upfront, trying to identify children at the earliest point possible. It's expanded to include all disciplines across the nation and in communities, and then includes that early identification of children, the early intervention, the early response, and then providing services and support to children and families, both separately and together. Because what we also know is that children need to heal themselves, but the family unit also needs to heal. And then it may not include a removal of children. It's really going to be a case-by-case basis as to what is in the best interest of children. Obviously, we want children to be safe, but how can we make this look and feel different? And then obviously includes all disciplines working together in the best interest of children and families. And so one of the big things that we started doing years ago was that awareness piece. In order to get more people on board and have them really truly understand the impact that drugs and substance use and drug activity have on children and families, we really needed to get out and to do that awareness piece. And so DEC Awareness Day really started through that portion of it. We knew that we needed to get people on board and educated, and they also wanted to share within their own communities their own statistics and their own data and their own pieces of DEC efforts. So when we started DEC Awareness Day years ago, we started it at a national level, and it trickled down into our state efforts, into our local efforts, into the tribal efforts. And that's where it is today. And that's where we wanted it to be when we started DEC Awareness Day. We wanted it to be everybody in communities across America, everywhere, to really put out information during this day to get people involved and also to raise the awareness that is needed around this really important issue. So what it's done for DEC efforts is it's expanded it. Every year, especially the week and the months after DEC Awareness Day, we get lots of calls for resources, training, technical assistance, which is what I'm hoping that you all will see in your own states and your own communities and your own tribes as well. The idea is that getting people on board, they're going to need things from all of us. So if for some reason you need something from us that we can help in your efforts, please reach out and ask, because we definitely want to make sure we're helping you guys as well. So past examples, there has been so much really awesome work on this day that we would love to highlight. And if you notice, like on our social media outlets, we're trying to highlight more and more of those efforts. But to give you some examples of what's been done in the past, governor's proclamations for this day have been put forth by a variety of different states. I know Colorado and Iowa have done them almost yearly. I know that Washington was really great about collecting socks and shoes for drug endangered children on Drug Endangered Children Day. So they really wanted to do something a little bit different and provide something for drug endangered children in foster care. So that was their idea, and they had done that for years. Obviously, training and technical assistance on this day is really popular. I know Missouri had done in the past reaching out to legislators and putting pamphlets down on their desks, in their offices, and their chairs at the Capitol, which I thought was a really cool idea. You're going to hear from some other folks today from across the nation as to what they're doing this year. I'm hoping that they'll be able to share some things from the past as well, because the ideas they're endless. Anything that you want to do that is impactful, that will share that awareness piece, we really encourage it, obviously on DEC Awareness Day, but every day should be DEC Awareness Day. So it would be really great for you all to share your efforts with us as well, so we can share with other folks too. One of the big things that we also do on DEC Awareness Day, and what we try to do every other day, is really focus in on those partnerships. And we have Steve Miller from the PTTC, as well as AC Missouri, going to talk to you about what they do in partnership with National DEC, and then what they're doing for DEC Awareness Day as well. So Steve, take it away.
Thanks, Stacy. Appreciate the opportunity to be here today. And I hope everybody's finding a unique way to celebrate and bring awareness to the Drug Endangered Children Initiative across the nation. So, as Stacy said, I work for the Mid-America PTTC, and I know some of the people that are in our service region are familiar with the work that we've been doing. And it is all really, as it is today, around that partnership that has evolved with DEC over the years. I knew Stacy and Eric before I even knew what a PTTC was, from my DEC work in another area and another part of the state of Missouri, and I'll talk about that here in just a little bit. But I think that, my understanding and how it is today is what's always been at the foundation of this movement is really the partnerships or the collaborative efforts that have borne out of this. It's certainly true with the work that we're doing. And the primary focus for the Mid-America PTTC is a specialty area of drug endangered children. And when we wrote for the grant, one of the things that we wanted to do was find a new way to really kind of build out this DEC awareness. And that was through a partnership where we created what is called the DEC Academy. And I know there's some graduates from the DEC Academies on the call today. And it's just another way of showing how that partnership works. It really creates that awareness in a very concentrated way, bringing together a region, a state, a community that's trying to launch a DEC awareness initiative wherever they happen to call home, and create that awareness, create that brand, and really drive home what this understanding of a multidisciplinary approach is really all about. Because again, it's got a lot of different names, whether it's multidisciplinarian, whether it's collaboration, whether it's partnership. It's really about how do you build those bridges in your community so that you can reach those places that we haven't been able to get to. And all too often, that's where the children are being impacted the most. When Stacy asked me to talk a little bit about, some of the things that I've gone through or that we've gone through with the DEC Alliance where I live, the first thing I thought is I always want to tell the story where I started. And I went through the core DEC training to be a trainer. I think it was in 2012. Stacy will correct me. I think she was here about 6 months longer than my experience. But I was kind of sent to this DEC training, really not knowing why I was being sent. Our executive director had wanted somebody to go and learn more about it. And I kind of wondered how I drew the short straw and really was kind of confused about the whole thing. And I can remember, and if you've been through the core DEC, this image is in that training. And I can remember when Lori Moriarty was talking about this, I'm looking at this picture and I'm trying to figure out what's on the screen. Like my brain literally could not process what I was seeing. And this is the dialogue that was going on in my head. What is inside that box? And the best I could figure out from my vantage point in the audience, that maybe it was an animal, maybe it was a dog. And I sat there and I wrestled in my mind, like, what am I looking at? And what is she talking about? And all of a sudden it came into focus. And I realized that this was a small child in this pack and play. And it was, I think Eric shares this when he does the training, that it was an aha moment that changed my life forever. I had no frame of reference that a child would ever be treated in such a way. I couldn't comprehend that this was a reality that existed for too many children in our world. And from that moment, I just made a decision. And I can remember when it all started to jive, like, I'm not in the wrong place. I'm in the right place at the right time, that I would do anything that I could to help build out this DEC efforts where I was living. And that happens to be in the southwest part of Missouri, in Springfield, where I actually live. And I don't know, from the time I hit the ground coming back, I think before it was all said and done, I did the core DEC training probably 75, 80 times in Southwest Missouri. Anytime the phone would ring and somebody wanted to know about it, I was there to talk about it, because it was really the only thing that I knew what to do, was to take the materials that they gave me and try to hand it off to other people and build out that relationships in the community where they were living. And for me, it all started with that one specific image. And we were talking about, when Stacy was talking about the history of kind of like DEC Awareness Day, one of the things that we did here in Greene County is we actually used the term All Hands on Deck each year for DEC Awareness Day. And we kind of had an idea where I'm sure people are familiar with what Denim Day is. It's an awareness for sexual assault. And our agency used to do an awareness campaign as a fundraiser, and it also would create awareness for that particular effort. And so we kind of borrowed from that, and we created stickers, and we would distribute them across the community for a $5 donation, and everyone would wear that sticker on that one day for unification. And it was a great way to fundraise for our local DEC initiative. And it also helped to fund what we had at the time, which was like the Check DEC app. We had an app that it helped to fund the hosting site and the cost associated with having an app available for your smartphone device. So that's just one of the early on things that we had done in this area. So fast forward to what we're doing for today's Awareness Day. In Kansas, I went to their conference about a month ago or so, and I heard, you'll see on the screen here, this is Cindy Miles and her family, and they spoke at the DEC conference in Kansas, and it made such an impression on me for one reason and one reason only, because it really focused in on the hope. She talked about the devastation of her family at that because of drugs and alcohol, primarily methamphetamine, and then focused really a lot about recovery and family reunification. And so I asked her to join me on our Mid-America PTTC podcast, and we launched that earlier this morning. And I want to make sure that I put a link to that in the chat, if that's okay with Stacy. I would like to do that. And if people would like to hear her story, it really does talk about the hope that is available for children and families that are struggling. And it's a 30-minute podcast interview, and we'd love to have you be a part of the audience. And then as a kind of a step two on what we're talking about here today, on May the 25th, Eric and Stacy will be joining us in the Mid-America PTTC for the DEC Connect, which is a community of practice conversation, where we will kind of talk about some of the things that we're addressing here today and provide some additional training or technical assistance components to the DEC effort. And it's open not only to people that are in our region or 4-state area, which is Kansas, Iowa, Nebraska, and Missouri, but anyone across the nation would be welcome to attend us for that particular event. So I'll put that into the chat as well. That is on May the 25th. And as you see there on the screen, it's at 2:00 Central Time. So please join us for that as well. Thank you, Stacy and Eric and Scott and Carrie for including me in the conversation today, and looking forward to many more successful awareness days in the future.
Well, I appreciate you being here and sharing. Is your podcast linkable? Like if I shared it on Facebook or social media?
Absolutely.
Perfect. We will do that today as well. So if you don't get the link out of the chat box today, we'll post it on our social media after this event is done. So thank you. You guys have done amazing work across your region, and I know we share that across the United States. So I appreciate that. So we are going to move on to what we are doing as National DEC before we get into the state stuff. So I'm going to turn it over to Carrie to talk about what National DEC is doing today.
Great. Well, first, our very first thing is we have a National DEC Awareness Day logo. You can see that up there on your screen. If you still need it today, let us know. We can get it to you, but then also know that you'll have it for the future and be able to use that logo so we have a consistent message across the nation on DEC awareness, and people will know that it's connected and what's happening for this day every month, fourth April every year. Second thing we do a lot of training and technical assistance, things that are happening this whole week. That's obviously our job that we do all year round, but this whole week we have a more concerted effort on a lot of those things. A lot of TA requests have already come in today. We've been able to connect people with resources, connect them with their local DEC Alliances for information that they need for their local areas. So a lot of information that we're able to help people get access to on this day. Trainings that we've been part of already today. We did the Michigan DEC Development Academy earlier today, and we're able to partner with ACT Missouri to help do that presentation. We were at the Prevent Child Abuse Illinois conference this morning. Tara is going to talk more about that, so I'll let her elaborate on that later. Holding calls like this today, our All Hands on Deck call happened to land on DEC Awareness Day, which is a great way for us to celebrate and to help you guys be aware of everything that's going on. Our social media, as we've mentioned a couple of times, we have Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. You are going to get a ton of information today. We do kind of use our social media year round, but this week particularly, we really bombard it with a lot of facts, stats, videos, and things that are just easy access, short little messages, so you can get that information quick and easy, but just stay up to date with it all day long to get all that information. You're welcome to share and copy that information and use that on your social media pages as well. And then also we love to promote what the DEC Alliances are doing on DEC Awareness Day. That's a reason for this call today, and we're really excited to hear from some of the states and some of the efforts that they're doing and how they're bringing awareness on this day and really all the time.
Perfect. Well, thank you. So please feel free to share whatever we have out there. It is not for us, it's for you guys, and it's for your network. So please feel free to do that, and please feel free to share things with us, and we'll share that as well. Keep in mind too, you don't have to do something huge on DEC Awareness Day. Sometimes it's the little things that have the most impact to people. So you can think outside the box as to even simple things that you can do after our call, like sharing on social media or putting a post up or sending an email to somebody. Even those things have impact today and every day. So don't think that you've missed the boat this year. You still have time, which is yay. So let's hear from what our states are doing. I definitely want to make sure that we give them time to do that. So I believe the first one is Illinois DEC. So Tara Winters, I'm going to pass it over to you.
Okay. So this year, we're a fairly new alliance, just a couple of years, maybe a year and a half. And so last year we weren't really sure what to do for DEC Awareness Day. So we put together a one-page informational sheet, is what we call it. It just had information about who are drug-endangered children, what are the facts about drug-endangered children, and what can you do, and here's some resources you can go to learn more about it. So we just circulated that electronically last year, posted on social media, sent it to our networks, our distribution lists, and all of those things. And so we did that again this year. And because, we already had the one pager, so the information was still the same. We just changed the date and things. So that was very convenient. But we also wanted to do something a little more. So we talked about the Illinois Alliance partnering with Prevent Child Abuse Illinois, of course, and National DEC to provide this DEC training today on DEC Awareness Day. So we invited Eric and Stacy to do that, and that happened this morning. It took place this morning for a couple of hours, and we had 600 people register and 400 actually showed up, which was awesome. So we were able to reach all of those people. Most of them were from Illinois, of course, since it's virtual. Others can attend from outside of the state, and we do get some, but mostly it's Illinois professionals. So we're really excited about that. Another thing is that during April, of course, is Child Abuse Prevention Month, which is a huge month for Prevent Child Abuse Illinois. We're very busy. We do a lot of trainings, a lot of awareness and education, and we also do press conferences. So one of the things that we have done in the past and continue to do is during the beginning of the month when we're doing these press conferences across the state, we make sure to mention during
Mom, I gotta take this. Mom, I gotta take this. I gotta go.
Oops. We make sure to mention during that DEC Awareness Day is the 4th Wednesday, and we give the date. And so it's another way to get that out to the general public and a way to reach them and let them know. And we usually get pretty good coverage at those events from the local media in those certain areas. So those are some of the things that we have done for DEC Awareness Day. And then also we continue, most of the staff at Prevent Child Abuse Illinois are certified DEC trainers, and some Alliance members are as well. So we are doing a lot of trainings across the state on DEC. So it's regularly, it's every month we're doing trainings to different organizations, and that's just ongoing. But today was a big training where we were able to educate about 400 professionals. So we're really excited about it.
You guys always do really great work because everything Tara sets up, it's like build it and they will come. I mean, we've been at conferences that she sets up that are 500, 700 people, and same with the virtual world that you guys are doing an awesome job in. So thank you for the work that you guys do, because it's important. And I'm hoping that you guys will pick up on a lot of different things and grab onto things and utilize them where you guys are at. Obviously, I'm sure Tara would be more than happy to talk further privately if you guys have questions on how to set things up or resources and things like that. So please don't hesitate to reach out to the folks that are on the call today. And if you need emails and stuff, I will get those to you all.
Yeah,
so
absolutely. Yep.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So we also have Tennessee DEC here, and LaRonda is going to talk about that. So LaRonda, if you can come off mute. Oh, okay. Perfect.
Hello, everybody. Right now in Tennessee, we have 7 counties that have DEC coordinators currently active. And today in Tennessee, we have 36 counties that are actually participating in DEC Awareness Day. Throughout the state, various landmarks across the state are going to be lit up red. We're all wearing our red today. As part of observation of National DEC Awareness Day. So in our capital, the event sponsored by Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, the Tennessee Dangerous Drug Task Force, and the Tennessee Alliance for Drug Endangered Children will include a reading by Representative Mary Littlejohn of the DEC Awareness Day resolution. And following that, a lighting ceremony at the state capitol. The building will be lit up red, and the Korean War Memorial Bridge will be lit up red. That's happening tonight at 6 Central at the Legislative Plaza. And locally, a lot of declarations in our different counties are being signed by our mayors. Then in Paris, Tennessee, we have a replica of the Eiffel Tower. That's going to be lit up red today in observance of DEC Awareness. In Pigeon Forge, Tennessee, they have a giant Ferris wheel on the island there that's going to be lit up red. Sevier County's courthouse will be lit up red. In Gatlinburg, the Sky Bridge, which is a glass bottom bridge that some brave people will walk across, not I, but that's going to be lit up red. And in Chattanooga, Tennessee, the Tennessee Aquarium will be lit up red. We have also here in Tennessee, a life-size version of Timby, and he will be visiting some of these sites where these various lightings will be happening in East Tennessee. Then we have 20 coalitions, organizations that are not necessarily in areas where DEC has a DEC coordinator, but they're all participating with activities across the state. It includes, our local fire departments, police departments, the courthouses, the schools, faith-based and youth-based programs, recovery court. They're all working together to spread the word of what DEC is and what we're trying to do, unifying and getting all of our different facets to come together and do what's best for our children in the state of Tennessee. Local media have been covering all these lightings and ceremonies and signings that are going on throughout the state. And of course, we have the yard signs, the red pinwheels and red balloons that we have distributed throughout the state to all our partners, anybody that was willing to partner with us or to help get the word out, for them to make pinwheel gardens in front of their businesses or in front of the schools, so that as you drive through, for example, Franklin County, where I am today, you'll see yard signs, red balloons and red pinwheels everywhere. Huge banners posted in prominent spots. And the idea is to get people talking, to get them asking questions. What is this red pinwheel thing going on? What is this DEC thing? What is this? And it has been amazing how partners have come together and they're like, where's my sign? I need my pinwheels. But they want to get the word out that we all have to come together to make life better for our children throughout the state. So we got several special events going on all day today, but I'll never be able to tell you everything that's going on, because locally, so many businesses and schools and partners are coming together to host events, even businesses putting red stickers on their cups when they go out to their customers today, so that they have a chance to win door prizes or something in observance of DEC awareness. So a lot going on today.
I love it. I just want to let you know, I wore red as well.
Okay.
To support the color in Tennessee.
We are red on today.
I know. I saw Tabitha Curtis, the state DEC leader for Tennessee last week, and we were talking about all the fun things, and then I got to see the signs in person because she had them in her car. And you guys have done amazing work and just thinking outside the box as to what this can be. And I love the pinwheels. I love the colors. I love it. It's just different than what we've seen. So I'll say again, like, even a red pinwheel can represent something for people. So it doesn't have to be a training where 500 people show up. It can be pinwheels and yard signs, just to get the awareness out there. And I think it's really important. I love to see all the work across the country. If you haven't seen the pinwheels yet, look on our Facebook. And I know the Tennessee Dangerous Drugs Task Forces also have their posts on their Facebook. And I think Tennessee Bureau of Investigations, and then I think Tennessee Alliance for Drug Endangered Children, and then just sprinkled throughout the different communities, they're posting everything. So if you want to see them, it's on Facebook and probably other social media outlets. So great job, LaRonda. It's awesome.
Hey, Stacy, before we move on to the next one, LaRonda had brought up that Timby is in life size, and we're very honored today to have the author and the creator of Timby on the call with us, Trish Luna.
Absolutely. Trish, do you want to say a little something so people know what Timby is? Because I know people are like, what's that?
So Timby is a resource for young children. It's a book. I actually brought one up here. That's how smart I am for our call. And Stacy and I got to spend a week in Atlanta together at the RX Summit. So we saw some of you guys there, but this is the Timby set. It's a book, a workbook, a big Timby bear. Oh, there we go. Rhonda's got it. Go, girl. And I love hearing about this life-size Timby. I am actually having 3 mascots made. So if there are other alliances that want to talk about getting one of those to use at these events, National DEC have been the greatest supporters of getting TIMBY known as a resource for you guys who are dealing with these kids. Once you get them, what can you do? So my email is in there if anybody wants to. There we go. West Care loves TIMBY.
Yay.
Tennessee people, I love y'all. So but we got to get it to you other guys. So anyway,
Absolutely.
you can find me, but it's great to see. Thank you.
Well, I'm just glad you're on, and I can't wait to see TIMBY later in Tennessee, maybe with a red pinwheel holding one up. So hint, hint, Tennessee folks. It's a great resource, so definitely connect with Trish. If you need, you can link through it through our website, because she has a website around TIMBY, and it's just an amazing resource for children. So yay, I'm glad TIMBY could join the call today. All right, so we're gonna move to Ellen Miller from Massachusetts, and I would say what county she's in, but I will only butcher it because I don't have that Northeast accent that sounds so different than my own. So Ellen, I'm gonna turn it over to you to tell people about what y'all are doing and talk about the name of your county.
So it's Worcester County, like Worcestershire sauce. I don't know, I'm a little speechless right now because those are some tough acts to follow. What some amazing things you all are doing. You know, we're really just getting started with our formal county alliance, as well as working with the other counties in Massachusetts to build our state alliance. So we're really in our infancy stages. We were lucky that as soon as we finished the academy, we went right into the train the trainer. Unfortunately, we have a great boss, and we came right back and we trained our entire office in core DEC awareness. We did some community trainings. So when we learned about DEC Awareness Day, we tried to think out of the box, and I'm happy because someone made a comment like, now when is that? And you were like, it's not too short a notice. And I feel like what we did, even though we tried to put some work into it, it was something fairly simple, but I hope it's being effective. And it's that social media campaign and the social media blast. We're lucky we have a great communications team that developed some graphics, like calling it Worcester County DEC Alliance, and giving our information. We met as a steering committee, and we're really hoping that's going to re-energize our community. We are lucky we have a lot of great things going on just in our county. We're not used to necessarily labeling everything or connecting it with DEC, but it really is connected with DEC. So that was our goal for today, was really to push this social media campaign and share and promote it and post all the great things you're posting as well.
So Ellen, I love that because social media is simple. And obviously I could tell you guys developed a plan because it's timed, it says a lot, like there's pictures, like it's great. When you and I talked a couple of weeks ago, you're like, I think I'm too late. And it's never too late. And I love what you guys put together, because even the simple things like social media reach hundreds and thousands of people, and we don't even really know it. So that's just a simple way to get things out. And even if everybody left here today and shared one post off of anybody's social media around DEC Awareness Day, we're going to have that many more people aware of the efforts going on across the country, but also just the information that's out there. So I appreciate the fact that you guys put this together and quickly. It looks amazing. So
with all your help, thank you very much.
Yeah, no, I gave an idea and I'm like, hey, social media, because it is simple. It's something that
I thought we can do that. That was different than the 5K, which did not seem.
Yeah, so when Ellen and I first started talking, she's like, are you telling me I've got to put on a 5K? And I'm like, no, you don't have to support a run. I mean, you can, but you didn't do that, which I think is great. We actually have had folks in the past put on runs and stuff like that, and that's a great idea, but you don't have to. I know that those are really time consuming and you have to find people to actually run. So it's extraordinary. So I love what you've done, and everybody on here has really thought outside the box as to how to make this their own. And everybody's hashtagging and adding, connecting the dots with other folks in their communities. And so I think even that is getting that awareness piece out. So thank you, Ellen, for sharing that
Great,
today.
thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, next year, 5K, Massachusetts. I will not be there running that, by the way. So I'm going to ask Scott and Eric, who haven't spoken today, is there anything that you want to add for DEC Awareness Day? Because I know we're all kind of in the mix of this.
Go ahead, Eric.
Scott, I think you're up.
Okay. One of the neat things about DEC Awareness Day is it is a chance for us to come together and share what we're doing across the country. And that's really what the purpose of the All Hands on Deck calls have been. Obviously, this is a special day because of the significance of today for DEC Awareness. And one of the things that we're also trying to do is make sure that we're providing easier access to all the resources that we have available. So one of the things that's really exciting, in addition to the Check Deck app, the videos that we're starting to produce, we are getting ready to launch a revamped version of our website. So here in the next 3 or 4 days, you'll see, when you come to nationaldec.org, you'll see our new website. And so that's really exciting. We think that's a good thing to have the new website piggybacking on the back end of DEC Awareness Day. So all the different resources that you're looking for, all the different information that you can download and share the Check Deck app across your communities to build utilization and use by those in crisis, parents and children, and professionals in your network to share the Check Deck app. So that's coming really quickly, and it's coming really soon, right on the heels of today's meeting. And we're so grateful to be a part of all these different alliances and all these different professionals, and the work that you do, boots on the ground. It just amazes us and wows us every single day, and the impact that it has on children and families is measurable. And so if there's anything else that we can continue to do to support your efforts, please let us know, because that helps us all grow together.
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Eric, what about you? Do you want to add anything?
Well, there's never a time that I'm not willing to speak. So, yeah, I guess I'll go. So I guess I just would like to, number one, thank everybody. And I want to point out something. I think it's been almost 18 years, 15 years since I was introduced to the DEC mission. And I'm going to remind people that I came to a DEC conference down in Kansas City, Missouri, not having any interest at all in what I was going to this conference for. But it was at this conference, the DEC conference, that I got to tell you, my life changed. It was the first time in my career, and I spent most of my career working in narcotics, working undercover, but also commanding a task force. It was the first time in my career that I had ever looked at children as being a victim of a drug crime. And I want you to think about that. For many years, and we still got communities and states across the nation that still look at drugs and drug crimes as a victimless crime. This light that you guys have all brought to the table, the services, the tools on the tool belt that you guys are bringing to the table, has made it more than obvious that children are victims. And our focus with National DEC is the children. And obviously we want the families, obviously we want the communities, but we're about the children. And we can all look at this now as children are the victims of a drug crime, where we used to look at drug crimes as the victimless crime. So I guess I just want to say I appreciate everything you guys are doing. You guys are what makes National DEC who we are. And I think all of us as staff would say that you all inspire us on a daily basis to keep doing it, to keep moving forward. The problem is our work is never done, and it can never be done until we get some kind of legislation or something like that, that these children will be identified earlier, recognize that they are oftentimes the first impacted and the last ones to ever receive services. Our mission will never be done. So I guess I would just like to thank all of you and the great work that you guys are doing and the inspiration that you guys give us. And we do have another video that we would like to play that kind of brings that hope and what kind of children's perspective is as they look at us for that support. And like Scott said, if you don't have the Check Deck app, it's right there, scan on the QR code. Scott's got one as well. And I'll play this video and then I'll turn it back over to you, Stacy.
Perfect.
No. You don't want it? Here, just try. One bite, one bite.
When things started getting bad at my house, I felt trapped and helpless.
Come on, you have to eat your breakfast for school in order to be strong and smart.
I didn't know where to turn. For me and my sisters, or for my parents. What I didn't know then is that they wanted our world to be different. They just couldn't escape their addictions, and we were left to care for ourselves. But we found that we are not alone.
Rather, how can we help?
We are supported.
Your parents listen more.
We are strong. And with the right help, we can make it. And our parents can too. Don't be afraid to look for help. Don't be afraid to believe in a better tomorrow. Let's connect. For help, for support, for hope.
So Stacy, I think that says a lot, that the children are counting on us as professionals, as community members. So thank you again, honestly, for all that you guys all do.
You guys truly are making a difference, not only on DEC Awareness Day, but every day that you get out there and you work with children and families. So at your worst moment, remember the children and that they need you. They need you to heal. They need you to help build resiliency. They need you guys as professionals and community members. So thank you for all the work that you all do. Keep that going. If you need help with that, please connect with us. We want to make sure that we are there for you all. One last announcement, and it's kind of a teaser, but it kind of goes with DEC Awareness Day, and somebody reminded me in a private chat. We are getting ready to announce our national conference for 2023. A great, right? Yay. We're super excited. We're in the process of developing some of those items for y'all to spread awareness about. And it's just another way to get information, connect with other people, and build our awareness and our knowledge and our skills so we can build our practice. And so keep looking on our social media because we will be doing those announcements here soon as to where and when. But 2023 is going to be a big year, and we're going to rock this conference out with your guys' help. With that being said, I'd love to open it up to questions. If you want to type any questions that you have in the chat box, we'd be happy to answer them, either for our staff or any of the speakers that you guys heard today. If you want to jump off, that's fine too. We understand people's time is tight just because y'all are so busy building awareness today. So go ahead and type any questions in the chat box. And if we don't have any questions that come up, we will let you guys go with a couple minutes to spare. It's really cool to see some really great familiar faces.
Stacy, and people can feel free to come off mute if you want to share what you're doing on DEC Awareness Day as well.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
This is Joy from Pratt, Kansas. And we're doing the social media for Pratt Day, but not for Pratt Day, but for DEC Awareness Day. But this Saturday, we're having a community kids fair.
Oh, cool.
And it started out that we thought it was going to be this little thing just for the Drug Endangered Children Alliance to do, but community members heard about it. So now we have our emergency awareness group is going to have their thing there. The hospital is going to have some bears there to do kids, give to kids and test their blood pressure and other vitals. And we have a helicopter coming in and all the fire trucks. And we have a pilots club here that's going to run their train. We're going to have one of the clubs is going to give away bicycles. So all of their events that they normally have individually, they joined with us this year. And this is the first time we've ever done it. So we're pretty excited about that. So
great work, Pratt County, Kansas. That's awesome.
Yes. And for people that don't know, that we're only a community about 7,000 people. So we're a little community. So this is, and there's a bike race going on that people come. So we're expecting about 800 people. So we're pretty excited. We thought it would be about 100 people. Then all these other people started joining with us. So we're pretty excited to get the word out about our alliance here in town.
That's awesome. And just so everybody knows, Pratt County, Kansas DEC Alliance is a newer local alliance. So you guys are rocking it out over there. That's awesome. Yay.
Thanks. We're pretty excited.
Yeah, no, you should be. And I am trying to share your stuff on social media too, because I have noticed it. That's awesome.
Well, good. I'm glad you've been noticing it then.
Yeah. Anybody else want to jump off and share? I know that y'all have stuff going on. No pressure, but feel free to jump off jump off of mute if you want to talk.
No pressure, George, but it'd be nice if people would share something. George Simpson, Montana. You ain't got a bite.
Well, sorry, I'm not George.
But that's okay, Sarah.
And I'm Sarah from Kansas. And Joy, way to go. And I think the president, Ms. Gassman, is on from Kansas. But we are so blue for Child Abuse Prevention Month. So blue, and we're doing, I mean, everybody else is doing stuff in blue. And hearing what was going on with LaRonda and red, I loved it. But are we working as closely as we can be with child abuse prevention? I'm just trying to figure out how to pull our day out more during the Child Abuse Prevention Month. So I just don't know if that's being worked on.
Yeah, so I definitely, in hearing what Tennessee has done, and I'll just use them as an example because we talked about the red, they're also in conjunction with their Prevent Child Abuse folks as well. So they're partnering with a lot of the coalitions, the child welfare folks, all around child abuse and neglect, but just for this one day, they're focusing on specifically those impacted by substance use. And you're right, we have to start making those connections as well, because we can't be fighting with other folks, because blue pinwheels are huge, obviously, throughout the whole month of April. So as you're working, make sure you're pulling in those child abuse prevention and awareness folks as well, because that's going to be huge.
We got a hand up. Sharon's got her hand up.
Hi, yeah, our state is doing the blue pinwheels as the others are, but I was wondering if there is some kind of website or listing where I could find out what specifically for the drug endangered children day or campaigns or whatever.
So unfortunately, I mean, that's probably a really good idea. We don't post on our website who's doing what in each state. Which state are you in?
I'm in Wyoming.
Okay, perfect. We can connect you. If you send us an email at info@nationaldec.org, we can connect you with some folks that are doing some DEC Awareness Day stuff, but also great DEC work across Wyoming. They've got some pretty strong efforts in some of those local communities and at a state level as well. But for other folks that are on here wondering what's going on in your area, feel free to reach out to us. We can connect you with the folks either at the state or the local level who are doing some work in the states that you are in. I know Scott had talked about updating our website, and so that some of the information about our state and local stuff will also be on the new website and will be updated. But until then, get in touch with us.
Thanks so much. I'll do that. I happen to be in the Capitol. I wasn't previously here, but I've been here the last 4 years.
Oh, good. Perfect. I love it. Yeah, you're sitting in a good spot. Perfect. We have, and I don't know your name, but your last name is Sanchez. You have your hand up.
Can I?
Oh, yep, we can hear you.
Okay, sorry about my background. I'm a little messy here.
That's
But
okay.
I just wanted to share something that we do. We're just a little, well, we're a reservation. And I did a community outreach to where I approached our local school. It's an elementary school. And then I approached our community. And we're currently going to be doing our book number 2, but this is something that we do. And so it's called For Our Loved Ones. And so what I have is, I have the kids submit posters, and it's all about, you know, the drug awareness. And so they all do a poster. Some of them, you know, are pretty in detail, and it's kind of sad and scary that some of our youth see the bottles and can draw them in their classroom, very descriptive.
Yes.
And yeah. And so, I mean, we have like tons of different posters, and then we have where I have community members or youth, they can do letters, you know, so they do letters to somebody they may have lost or to a family member that they, you know, want to talk to. And we do it all anonymously, so we don't have no names in them.
Sure.
But we're definitely, you know, everybody who gets this book they feel the emotion being put into it. I also have a copy of all the images on our fence on the outside of our office, so that if anybody's walking or anybody's on their break, they can see them. And so now this next month, I'll be able to add this New Year's pictures. I'm collecting them this next month, actually. But that's what I do over here.
Would you be willing to share your book? I'd be willing to pay or have it sent to me or whatever. I would love to see that book, if at all possible.
Yeah, so what I do for our book, because I also help our AA and NA group. So what I do is I collect a $10 fee just to put to our group so that we can buy the books for them, any of the books or any of the stuff that they need for their meetings. So that's the only thing I ask, but I can definitely send you, I have like everything scanned in, and so I can send it to you that way, unless you want the whole book, just like we made it, because we also have different things in there for, you know, signs of use or withdrawal or overdose, you know what I mean? We have all that in there. So it's like a very informational book, but it's definitely a heartfelt book that's from our community here.
Ma'am, I would like the whole book, and if you'll put your email address in the chat room, there might be other people that are interested as well.
All right.
Yeah, thank you for that. I love that.
Good work.
I love the ideas and that you're reaching people in different ways. So I appreciate that work. And so with that, we are 1 minute over. I'm going to be mindful of your time and let y'all go. But thank you guys so much for sharing today. And I hope we will see you at something else in the very, very, very near future. So take care, guys. Be safe out there.